This is called a core strength assessment. Now, there's no winners or losers with this. It's simply looking at where am I right now and how can I improve? Or maybe you're already at the epitome of core strength and that's fantastic. But let's take a look at it. All right, everybody, we are back and we're back with a brand new Training Thursday. This is a follow-up from last week's show. If you missed last week, that was episode 2813, and it was going over how many push-ups you should be able to do based on your age and male and female. So what I wanted to do is now look at overall core strength. So I think push-ups are a really great metric of strength, like strength in your upper body. You're not just looking at just your chest, it's your shoulders, it's your triceps, and you carry, depending on the type of push-up that you're doing, anywhere from about 60% of your body to about 70-75% of your body when you're doing a push-up. So it's a really good test of upper body strength. But what I wanted to look at, maybe an even more important metric today, and that is on overall core strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link up photos today as well as the instructions to test yourself. Okay, so you can test yourself right at home. Feel free to let me know how you did in the comments. Of course, I would love to hear back on that. I would love to hear how many push-ups you're able to do and your age. But let's go over that. Everything will be at stevencabral.com/2820 today. stevencabral.com/2820. And this is called a core strength assessment. Now, there's no winners or losers with this. It's simply looking at where am I right now and how can I improve? Or maybe you're already at the epitome of core strength and that's fantastic. But let's take a look at it. The big thing that I want to share with you, this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they say, I want to get six-pack abs, or I'm going to do hundreds of crunches a day. The problem is you may be shocked that you're actually not strengthening your core muscles, because they're not just the ones that you see, which are called the rectus abdominis. So those are the ones on the outside you see. There's essentially 8 of those, and they go from your rib cage or right below your chest all the way down to your groin area or your inguinal area. And a lot of people go for those, right? You know, obviously those are more of the vanity-based abs, but underneath that, we have something called the transverse abdominis. We also have the internal obliques. We have the lower back muscles. We have the hip flexors and hip extensors. All of these unite together and many more in order to form our core muscles and strength. This is what allows us to have good posture, to sit up tall without a back to our chair, able to stand up tall, keep our shoulders back and our weight directly over our core, and our core can carry all of that. And of course, it helps with being able to look and feel and be more athletic, to not get injured from simple everyday things like picking up your kids or picking up, moving something. This is why it's so important that we strengthen our core muscles, and they get weaker and weaker every single year as we get older, unless we take action. And the action is actually in the test itself. So by doing this test, based on whatever level you're at, you will actually strengthen your core at the same exact time. So the test itself, the assessment, is the answer. Let's get started. So what you're going to do is a plank. Now, you may have heard of plank before. Great. If you have, fantastic. If you haven't, that's okay. A plank is this. You want to keep your arms at right angles, and the elbow should go directly below your shoulder. Your hands should be in fists, not fingers on the floor. And you want to keep everything in alignment. So wrist is in alignment with your elbow. Elbow is directly under your shoulder. All of that's great. Now, the next part is your hips are up in the air now. So your whole body is up in the air except for your toes or the balls of your feet. So basically, you flatten out your toes on the floor and you put the pressure on the balls of your feet. You can do this barefoot. You can do it with sneakers. So now the only parts of your body touching the floor, and you can do this on a mat, something stable, are your forearms, which is your fist, wrist, all the way through your elbow. That's the only part. And the other part is just the balls of your feet. Now, the goal is to be able to hold this for up to 60 seconds. So all you need is your watch or a timer or anything to take that time. The last caveat is that most people, to make it easier, are going to lift their hips really high up in the air, or they're going to sag their hips really low towards the floor. The way to truly engage the core is to flex, not just suck in, but actually flex those core muscles, almost like as if you were going to get hit in the stomach. So what would happen if you were about to get hit in the stomach? You would flex in. So that's what you want to try to hold while you're in this plank-based position. So if you have a mirror handy, even better. So you're going to forearms on the ground, you're going to keep your balls of the feet on the ground, and you're going to keep your hips level with your upper body, okay? So not too high up in the air, definitely not sagging too low. All right, so now what we do is we time that. We always did this with all of our clients. We never allowed it to be done for the knees. The knees is fine for a different exercise, and I can teach you that in a moment, and I will. But the plank is only the plank if the knees are not touching, okay? So the knees are up. Now, we though only had the person hold it for whatever they could do comfortably, and when they couldn't do any more, they slowly dropped their knees down to the ground, not drove them into the ground, right? Gently drop the knees down, so don't take this to the very last second until you collapse. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Put your watch below your face, you can look down, and you can time yourself. And all you're trying to do is you say, can I maintain this posture without moving my hips up and down, up and down? If you're going to shift your body backwards or forwards, you stop the time. This is an isometric exercise. This means you don't move. The whole time you're static. And you just simply time it. Can you do 60 seconds? If you can, great. That's level 1. If you can only do 10 seconds, many of our clients could only do 10 seconds. There's no shame in that. No big deal. All you're going to do is 10 seconds, and you're going to try that once a day. And over the course of a week, can you get it to 15 seconds? Great. The next week, can you get it to 20? And you're just going to work up week by 3 to 5 seconds or so until you can get to 60. And I bet that most people, if you practice this once a day daily, you'll be able to get there within 4 weeks to 60 seconds. So again, like worst case scenario, you take 4 weeks. That's it. And that's the amazing thing about this. But what does that mean though? It's not the vanity metric of 60 seconds. It actually means that your core got stronger. It's remarkable, right? All right, let's move on to level 2. So level 2 of core strength is this. When you're in the plank position, you could already do 60 seconds. Now do this. You're gonna lift your arm out to one side or in front of you straight out. And your elbow is now off the ground. So now instead of 4 points on the ground, both forearms, both feet, you have 3 points. All right, so it's a 3-point plank. So that means let's put your right forearm on the ground and you reach out straight with your left arm, thumb up to the air. Now, can you hold that for 15 seconds in a 3-point plank? Try it out. Put that watch below your head, see if you can do it. Then you'll put your left arm down and you'll put your right arm out straight. Can you hold that for 15 seconds? If you can only do it for 5 on the left, just do it for 5 on the right. Although if you could do it for 15 on the right, that shows an imbalance between your left and right side stabilization. That's important as well. Now, if you can do both arms, each one for 15 or 5 and 5, whatever you can do, you'll work up to 15 seconds. Then try your left leg up in the air for 15 seconds. Now you have both arms down, so it's always 3-point. And then if you can do that for 15, you'll switch to the right leg. Can you hold that up in the air for 15? Now, my only recommendation here is that every time you do this alternating arm or alternating leg 3-point plank, is that if you start with the left arm today, start with the right tomorrow, because you can fatigue easier, right? I mean, that arm could just get tired because it's the first time you're doing it. And then alternate, obviously, for the legs as well. All right, that is phase 2 of core strength. Can you do a 3-point plank 15 seconds for each limb? Now, of course, you can be an overachiever and you can eventually take that to 30 seconds if you'd like per limb raised. Now, the last phase, so phase 3 of core strength, once you get past the 60-second hold and the 15-second for each arm and then each leg, phase 3 of core strength is when you're in that plank position, both forearms down, it always starts there, both feet down, balls of the feet, always starts there, hips are always level. Can't mess with those hips. They have to be level to the ground, basically parallel to the ground. Then the next thing you want to do is raise your left arm and right leg at the same time. Left arm goes out, thumb up to the air, right leg is raised, so it's the alternate leg from the alternate arm, so left arm, right leg, and you're squeezing your right glute to lift. All right, not tightening up those hip flexors, but squeeze the right glute to lift that leg up. Now, you're not holding them super high in the air or super low, you're just holding them parallel to the ground. And can you hold that for 15 seconds? If you can, phenomenal. Put that down, take a deep breath. Now, raise the right arm and the left leg simultaneously, squeezing with the left glute now. Hold that for 15 seconds. Now, I've seen remarkable differences from right to left with this, meaning like people clearly can see they're stronger with one side than the other. That's okay. Work up the weaker side week by week in order for it to get stronger. And then on this, you can go up to 30 seconds essentially maximum with the left arm raised, right leg raised, and then right arm raised, left leg raised. And again, each workout alternate the side that you start with first. That is phase 3. If you're able to get to that point, suffice to say, you have a strong core, less likelihood of getting injured, better posture, whether seated or standing, and all of that's going to be tremendously helpful, especially with pain, lower back pain, and potential injuries as you begin to age. This can be started by anybody, basically at any age. You want to start with the 4-point plank, eventually move to the 3-point, and then the 2-point. Once you've done that, without a doubt, your core is stronger. I'd love to hear from you if you've ever tried this before and what phase you believe that you're at right now, or better yet, give it a shot right now, carefully, of course. See how you do. Leave a comment below. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll put the show notes, make it super simple, show you what it looks like at StephenCabral.com/2820 for all the details. That's StephenCabral.com/2820. Take care, everybody. Share the show with anyone you believe it could serve. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.